want one woman in this film who can prove that women can do things on their own, can live by their own rules, can look after themselves, be economically independent.
What was the first germ that came in? How did it happen? Laapataa Ladies, this time.
So it actually began with a script that a guy called Biplab Goswami wrote called Two Brides.
Okay.
And actually the story itself was a really lovely, realistic story of two girls getting lost, one very sheltered, one who has dreams. But I felt in genre needed to be much more funny, had to have humor, satire.
Yeah, to make it that
it's
entertaining
kind of,
also.
Yeah, it actually the swap itself is both like, you know, full Hindi cinema and Shakespeare, you know, mistaken identities, you know, swap kind of thing. So I felt ripe with potential to make into a comedy. And so we brought on...
It was emotional as well.
Yeah. So we did have to work on that. The original story was a little bit more like sort of realistic art house cinema. And so we brought on this wonderful writer called Sneha Desai.
Okay.
She's an absolute cracker of a writer. She came on and transformed it. And we developed these characters. Jaya was very different in the original. There was no Manju Mai in the original.
Also, one thing about the script is that I just feel like, you know, it had a very different kind of an individuality, each character.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, what I felt was that, like, one is, it gave us the opportunity to explore women's lives in very different ways.
And you sat with the actors as well.
Yeah, sat with the actors, sat with the writers. Because when I read the original, you had this pool character, but her arc was not as well defined, where she very subtly finds her, you know, some sort of like an identity for herself within this marriage that she's happy to be in. And Jaya was like completely different in the original, and we wanted this character of a person who's ambitious, who's bright, and dreams are dashed. She finds this opportunity and decides that, you know, why should I lose this opportunity? So those characters, though, of course, we had to develop, but there's so many others. And so one of the main characters that I was keen to bring in was a character like Manju Mai, who, you know, you feel like you want one woman in this film who can prove that women can do things on their own, can live by their own rules, can look after themselves, be economically independent, you know.
Yeah, and also, I just feel so proud that, I mean, most people feel like, you know, Indian cinema has all, you know, the big super duper stars, and their films are going to, you know, be blockbusters and, you know, go on to make it to a global platform. And here we have our Kiran Rao representing us.
Yeah.
And a woman, I don't think I can feel prouder. Or is better, you know what I mean?
I feel immensely proud and immensely honored, actually, Kareena, because, you know, we're a country of so many films. So one, to be chosen amongst like 29 films that were in contention. And also to be representing women in general. We really... I feel our time came a long time ago, and I'm really happy to be there and, you know, sort of flying our flag in many ways. It's really very exciting, very, very exciting. I feel like this is a film also that leaves you with a nice sense of India also.
Absolutely.
You know, it's
not showing him ki essay, looking at it.
We have our problems. Who doesn't, you know, but we're ready to face them. We're ready to look beyond them, look at solutions. And I feel like there's a sense of solidarity that this film has engendered with anyone who's watched it. Like, anyone who's watched it comes up to me with such a sense of like optimism, warmth, empathy. Like, I really feel like our films...
it gave you that feeling in the end. You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping will translate, because I do think that, you know, for all the issues that we deal with, there is the flip side. If we look for help, we find it. If we look for solidarity and support, we find it. Especially women, because we are constantly, you know, boxed within certain, you know, restrictions, like expectations, guilt of various kinds. You know, something that just makes you feel good about yourself or gives you the strength to...
And this film, I think, somewhere gave women the strength, no? It gives you that feeling.
Yeah, it's amazing the kinds of responses I've had. And from people, women from very different parts of society. It's not just ki only multiplex watchers have loved it, you know?
Yeah.
Which is so nice. I'm so happy.